Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be planning crafts and activities for fall, and I'm really excited to do this. I love planning these types of things. And this video is actually an open collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. And so there'll be a whole bunch of homeschool moms participating. You can see how everybody plans, which I just think is great. I'll make sure the playlist is linked down below so you can check that out. And let's get to planning. Okay, so this video is kind of a stretch for me doing a planning video. I haven't done many planning videos on my channel before because it's something with my personality that I plan most things intuitively, which you're like, oh, that's awesome for you. And I'm like, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. You know, all those things that are like our strengths are also sometimes our greatest weaknesses and not always super fun for us. And so being OCD and routine driven and all that stuff can be really great, but it can also be very annoying. And so I just never know exactly how to tell you how to plan because I just kind of do it naturally. And people will ask me, well, how do you do this? Or even with sleep training, how do you sleep train? I'm like, I don't know how I do it. Like, how am I supposed to tell you how I do it? Because it's something that just naturally comes to me. And so instead of going through our homeschool days or anything or what we're planning specifically, I was like, well, we could talk about how I plan activities and crafts for this season, because that is something I kind of sit down and go through and look for activities on Pinterest. I feel like I have a hair on my chin somewhere. Anyways, and so I look through those things and try to find some activities that would be fun, maybe stuff that is different from what we did the year before. I still have young kids, so doing lots of crafts is fun, and baking and cooking is something that's important to me, and I feel like my kids need to learn that. So I always like to focus on that as well. And so this isn't gonna be a planning video like math, reading, any of that kind of stuff. We're not gonna go through any of that kind of stuff. And most of that stuff I stopped planning a long time ago. It wasn't worth it to me. My first couple years of homeschool, I planned those things out, and within a few days, it's all messed up anyway, because curriculum's not working out. Somebody gets sick, or somebody isn't quite up to that speed. Like, they can't do it that fast, so we have to slow down. Or they're way faster, so we're totally jumping curriculum. So it all gets messed up. So don't plan those things out, they just get messed up. But the activities and crafts and those things usually are okay. They usually don't get messed up very often. And so that's what we're gonna focus on today. So I have a list of some things I wanted to look at to plan for fall, like sensory bin ideas for my preschooler, some treat ideas, any extra crafts. I do have Michael's crafts, so if I'm just not wanting to prep anything, I can just pull those out. And so then, you know, if we want to do an apples unit, if we want to do other fall things, what we want to do for Halloween, all those kind of things, I'm going to kind of go through with you and show you my process as we search through Pinterest and search through some fall documents I already have. And we're gonna have fun with it, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be fun. It'll probably be over the course of a few days because it takes some time to look through all these things and decide what I want to do. And also I just don't have like a 2 or 3 hour chunk of time on any given day when my kids aren't yelling at me for me to do it in one sitting. So we're gonna work on it together over the next few days, and I'll come back and kind of report everything that I've decided to do and how it's all gonna look and kind of what these extra activities and fun things look like for our family and our homeschool space. So let's get to planning. Okay, so I'm back. It's been a few days and I've been planning in between all the things that I've had going on this week. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through some of the process that I did and just let you know kind of what we have planned. Obviously, I'm not gonna give you all the details because that would be way too long, but hopefully this will at least give you a few ideas. So first of all, I took my notebook. This is gonna look like a mess right here. And I went through and decided what kind of activities and crafts we wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, overall we want to talk about fall, which would include like apples and leaves kind of stuff for us. And then there'll be Halloween, and then there'll be Thanksgiving. So I wrote all those categories down and went through the stuff I already have. So I went through all the craft projects, all the food things like on Pinterest. I searched through Pinterest and found some things that maybe I thought would be interesting. And then I also got more ideas. You know, as I searched those, I was like, what if we did this, or what if we did that? So I kind of just brainstormed a bunch of different ideas, and also went through some of the books that we already had. So I'm just gonna hold these up. I keep these all in my homeschool closet. So this is fall apples and Johnny Appleseed. I don't know, I was trying to say there. And then I have a Halloween one. I didn't pull out the Thanksgiving one, but I didn't want to overload you with books. So I have those books. So it's like, okay, what do I already have to work with? And then I still like to get a few new fall books for my kids to look at and for me to read to them, because that's just fun. And we just love books over here. So that's kind of everything I did. So I brainstormed fall, Halloween, and then I have Thanksgiving and like turkeys and stuff over there. And then I needed to decide kind of what we wanted our fall to look like. I feel like I'm still new. This is our 5th year homeschooling, which blows my mind. But I'm still like new enough to a lot of things that I'm adapting and changing stuff all the time, because I'm just not really sure what we like the most or what's gonna work the best. But for the last few years, we haven't really done normal bookwork type homeschool on Fridays, because my kids go to a charter school on Thursdays. So our week kind of just gets broken up. You know, Monday through Wednesdays, like more focused work. And then it was hard to come back on Friday and to do actual book work. So I created a schedule this time. I haven't ever done this before. I just kind of like kept it in my head, but it would get confusing. And I'm like, wait, what week are we on and stuff? So this is obviously just kind of a rough schedule, because things will interrupt our Fridays. I usually schedule my doctor's appointments on Fridays because it's an easy day for my husband to be around and watch the kids. So it might be thrown off a little bit. But week 1, so I decided on Fridays, week 1, we do game schooling, some sort of craft or watercolor project, and I can just pull out all the supplies and the kids can have fun. And then we love to bake and cook, so I put that there as well. Week 2 would be going on a hike and watercoloring, and obviously throughout the winter this will be a little bit harder, and then I'll have a newborn in part of the winter, so we might just still do game schooling and kind of do week 1 and week 2 the same. But for right now, going into fall when it's really good hiking weather, that's what our plan is. Week 3 is the same as week 1. So the game schooling, watercolor or craft project, and baking. Then week 4, we're gonna do lemonade time. I don't know what else to call it. If you have a better name, it's like tea time, but we don't drink tea. And so I just didn't know what to call it besides lemonade time. We aren't always gonna have lemonade, but that's what I called it. So if you have a better name for it than that, let me know. And then just themed snacks and treats for whatever month we're in or season. So I'll show you again what that looks like in a minute. So I created this schedule, so as I went through and wrote everything in my planner, what we wanted to do, I could look back at this and be like, okay, what are we gonna do? So Fridays are gonna be more focused on a lot of the theme type stuff for the month, because I found if I would plan all this stuff that was theme based, and then we just never get to it, or I felt overwhelmed, or we were missing out on some of our science and history, which are fun for us to do as well. So I just felt like it was too much. So I'm like, if we can just have Fridays be more of that focused theme day for the month, then it'll be a lot easier for me. So I did this schedule. When we're talking about schedules, let me show you another one. So I started doing this last summer, just creating an overall schedule for my kids. This is very, very basic, very simple, but just helps us kind of remember where we're supposed to be at. So this is the fall school schedule, and I just did this in Word with a table. So, you know, I have all my kids over here and then the days of the week over here. So it has things like scriptures, and then I put group work because we're gonna rotate our group work. So Monday, Wednesdays, we'll do the same group work. Tuesday, Fridays, we'll do different group work. So Fridays we won't do book work like their normal individual work, but we'll do a group work or like morning basket type stuff. So we're still planning to do that on Fridays so that we can try to get our curriculum. So we'll do like science and a read aloud on Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday and Friday we'll do history and a read aloud. And that also will be like our scripture time and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I did. I wrote down if they have music lessons, what days, if they're doing typing, if they're doing any online learning programs, which we don't do a ton of, but I incorporate those occasionally, what days to do those so we can kind of keep track, and also have everyone staggered on the laptop because we just have the one for them to use. So that's kind of here. And then my preschooler, I just put a few like ABC practice or a little bit of reading practice and stuff like that. So I have this kind of schedule, and I can always link this down below as like a PDF if you wanted to see it. But I just think this is helpful. I put it back here on this calendar above that's a chore list right there. So it goes above that. So that'll be up there so the kids can reference that if they are not sure what they're supposed to be doing. So let me show you what I did for the lemonade time, because that was what I spent a lot of my time planning, and that was a lot of my notes in here was for that. So I have my big like normal planner that I use for everything. So the October is gonna look a little different because I have a doctor's appointment. So it bumped when we were gonna do our lemonade time. See, it's already messed up. The schedule's already messed up. But most of the time it'll be the fourth week. But this time it's gonna be the second Friday. Technically there's 5 Fridays in October. So what I did here, you get to see all the details on my planner. No, I wrote down lemonade time right here, and then I put down the different snacks and treats we're gonna have. So I put like apple smiles with like peanut butter in the middle, pie bites, cheese and crackers, and hot apple cider will be kind of the drink for that one. So I tried to pick a few treats, you know, some more like sugary treats and some that were not quite as sugary, and then a drink for each lemonade time. That's so hard to say. Just call it LT time or L time. LT time would be like lemonade time. Anyway, we're getting off track here. So the thing I like to do when I plan any crafts or food things we're gonna do is as soon as I put down in my planner what day we're gonna do it on, I go to my grocery list in the back. So in this planner, there is a grocery list that I keep for Sam's Club and Walmart at the end of each month. And so I'll write that there. And you know, obviously we don't go shopping just once a month, but that's where it is in the planner. And so I'll go there and I'll write down what we need for those things, because otherwise I will forget and we won't get them. And I have all the recipes and everything open right then. So it's a lot easier for me just to go, write what we need, and then it's already ready to go. So I make sure to write it on, obviously, the shopping list for the week before we're doing the activity so that we make sure we get all the things that we need. So I went through and did that. I made it through almost all the things except November. I didn't really get to November yet because I was, as you can tell, I'm like trying to frantically film this. My life has been really crazy this week and everything. So life has been busy and I'm trying to plan all the things. And so I haven't gotten quite to November. I have all the ideas written down. I just need to go through my planner and decide when we're gonna do them. And then on a few of the other Fridays, I put a few crafts that might be fun. So there was like a leaf, like impression activity. So you find the leaves and you put them in clay and you can paint them with like metallic paint colors and stuff. So I thought that looked fun. So on one of our days when we're just doing either craft or watercolor, we can do that. There's a few other food items that I thought might be fun to make separate from lemonade time. So we might do those on those other weeks as well. So I tried to plan all those things in, again, write on my grocery list what I need so that we're all ready to go. And it's just, I don't have to come back and do this every single week or every single month. I just know for the next 3 months, I'm all ready, everything's scheduled, and it's good to go. So that was the main gist of my planning this week, was going through all of that stuff. And then I also just printed out a few things that we might use I don't always use them. And some of these are from people I haven't ever used their products before. I'll link one of them down below. It was a suggestion from Grace and Grit. She might even work with the lady on it. I'm not really sure. But anyways, so I printed out some things about turkey. So that's what I have here. There's some like journal ideas. So if we want to do that and just kind of get them thinking about fall. And then I have a fall. These ones are all just kind of generally fall. And so things you can do if you want to have this kind of on your checklist for fall. So I thought that would be fun. And then pumpkins. So we'll probably talk about pumpkins a little bit. We usually do. But again, we've done so many of the crafts that I have for us year after year. So I'm like, okay, man, we'll take a break from some of those things. So this one has a pumpkin spice Play-Doh, which I thought might be fun for my kids to do. And then there's also some like bat facts back here. Candy corn challenge. I hate candy corn. I don't know. That's always what it is, right? It's like one camp or the other. You either love them or you hate them, and I don't. But it's a super fun thing for my kids to do. And then Thanksgiving. So we have the first Thanksgiving story. And then we also have these, we've made these before. You do it with like paper plates where it shows the Mayflower, and you paint the paper plate brown, then you fold this up and make your little ship out of your paper plate. And it kind of just shows what was on the Mayflower and what they were able to carry. So that's some stuff that we might do for Thanksgiving. So I have all those things prepped. I feel pretty good about it actually. At first I was like, I actually enjoy planning this kind of stuff, but at the same time it takes a lot of work. But then I'm good for 3 months, so just get it out of the way. So that has kind of been my planning this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't super exciting or anything like that, but I'm really excited to be ready for fall. I just love fall, and I'm excited to celebrate all the things in fall with all the apples and pumpkins. And I don't like Halloween as much, but Thanksgiving, you know, just all the smells I really, really love. And I love being outside in fall time. So if you enjoyed seeing this video, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below what your favorite fall activity or craft or food or whatever is, and I will see you next time.